they have all these nursery kind of places where they invite children with their mothers, and lots of new products are actually put up there. Then they will look at from glass doors. They will look at which are the toys children are picking up, and which is the one for which they are fighting, and which is it that they're again going and playing and again, right? So they, out of all the maybe say 100 new toys they have developed, they decide which one to go by looking at the. So this is an experiment. They look at what the children are picking up, and then they decide on the prototypes. So that's the way Lego does that. So now let us quickly go to the next one. So now, so here we are starting here at the product testing stage. That is the product development. Product testing stage, a little bit of an idea about how this is done. So you have what is called as a monadic research design. So in here, only one prototype is actually given to one respondent. So, maybe they bring, they have say 10 prototypes, they give it to 10 different type of customers, their potential customers, and they may be asking them to use it, or, then later they ask for their response. So if it is a simple cheese, or if it's a simple juice or whatever, so it could be simple taste set. What if it is a, product, which is, something which is a technology product. So, you ask people to use it for a week or so, and then come back with your report, right, with the feedback. So that is monadic research design. So monadic means only one particular respondent is given one prototype. Whereas in the sequential monadic research design, you have two prototypes, right, for the same need. You have created two prototypes, and then you give both of them to the same person, right? So you give first one, and that person has used it, and then you actually give the second one. So one after the other, right? You are actually giving, and then you are trying to figure out, okay, what is the feedback of the respondent. So this way, that person is actually getting to compare two different products, one after the other. So it has got a little bit of a negative, side to it, wherein which the first one is being completely new. Either he may have a very positive or kind of an indifferent attitude, and the second one being he's already used to that, some new thing which is happening. The assessment of the second one will be more comfortable. So there could be a little bit of bias and all that. Then the third one is a paired comparison test. You are actually you give both the prototypes together to a respondent and ask them. So, if you have developed 6 prototypes, 2 is given first, okay, they are using it and they're comparing it. And then again, you can again do this another, 2 and another 2. Right? You can keep on doing the paired comparison test. The only thing is that 2 prototypes are given at the same time. In the repeated pairs test, you are actually giving them the pair, right? Later, you are actually, you will change the label and the color and a little bit of, this outward design of the same prototype. And then you will give them, another 2 and say that these are different prototypes, and see whether, their response are staying the same or their responses are different. So, you can say that whether, okay, they are giving you a stable answer or a steady or a consistent answer. Only the, outside the paint or the design a little bit, they will change. Basically, it will be the same product. So repeated pairs test is more effective than paired comparison test. Then you have the triangle test, where you are actually giving them 3, different prototypes and test it. So you have different types of product testing. So this is just a basic idea. So then, all these things which I told you, which is explained here: monadic, sequential, paired comparison, repeated pairs test, triangle test, everything is done. So now I'm going to show you, you have this company Kantar.com, right? I think I showed you once also. Okay, can you see it, class? Okay. You could see, but now it's gone. What are you seeing now? You're seeing again the PowerPoint? You can see this? So again, for me, it's saying it is paused. No, you cannot see that now. Okay, I'm saying resume share. Hmm. Now, can you see it now? No. I think I should just go and teach or try this website and all. Okay, how do I do it? I've showed you know earlier. Now you have to change the window. Okay, so shall I go to the new share? Okay, 1 second. Okay, class. What is it now? You can't see anything, no? You see now? I'm trying to do something. The whole world conspire against me. I'm telling you. Okay, so now this is the Kantar. Okay, this is that site. Can you see this site, Kantar? So what I was telling you, I was trying to tell you that okay, so this is a job which they took up. Right? This is a job they took up, putting a fresh face on new product development for number 7. So this is actually some cosmetic product, right? So let us try and see what did they do. So after realizing the power of agile concept testing, number 7 developed a robust insights program with the Kantar marketplace platform at its core. So this number 7 is, I think, an international brand. So this particular company does product testing for, concept testing. So how did they do that? So the concept screening program we have implemented in partnership with Kantar has given us a fully validated new product development pipeline. So what was the approach? Given their robust product line and rapid pace of innovation, number 7 sought an agile solution from Kantar that could easily scale up or down based on their needs and help them respond in a highly competitive, trend-driven industry. That's a lot of semantics. So what did they do? Number 7 selected concept evaluate on Kantar marketplace. So they have this, marketplace which is actually created for an initial project covering 3 skincare concepts. So they had three skincare concepts, but quickly realized the potential of agile concept screening, rapidly scaling their program to over 150 concepts in just a few months. So, this company Kantar actually gives companies, a place where, you can test your concepts, right? And then they have created what is called like a marketplace. So they will put up, the different packaging, and, there may be nothing inside, but it will also write down what is the advantage of that particular product. So the way you will take up a bottle and see, okay, what is in it, and you might think that okay, let me use a tester. So to that level it will take you, right? So they create, so there are these companies which create marketplaces, real type of marketplaces where you can put up your concept ideas and then you can test it, right? So I also wanted to show you some other things. So this is the way, they, test concepts. So initially this company wanted to test 3 concepts and then eventually they went to 150 concepts. That's what they did. So Insight using Kantar Marketplace, number 7 was able to tap into the speed and cost efficiencies offered by a market research platform while still benefiting from Kantar's consultancy. This provided the brand with recommendations on where to proceed versus where to stop, to improve product concepts, and ultimately gave number 7 confidence in future product pipeline. So you can actually tie up with a market research firm like this, and then you can do the work. Then impact, the adoption of a systematic platform-based approach allowed number 7 to access fast results and generate holistic learnings. So, having served the cosmetics and skincare industry for almost a century, number 7 can now go to market with more confidence, knowing that even their newest products will help position the brand to stand the test of time. I think number 7 is launched in India now. So if you can see what is the kind of work these people do. So let us look at some industries here. Okay, let us look at some consumer packaged goods and see what kind of work these people do. So can you see so this is the consumer package division. Overview. So, okay, so this is again something which they did. Do you know in India, this brand, Yakult? So launching Yakult's European campaign with confidence. So what did they do? What did the market research do to do these kind of things? So what did they do? So this was a challenge. Yakult is a probiotic drink brand, had a goal of launching their new campaign, Little Bottle on a Big Mission. So anyway, our next session is also on advertising. You can couple it with that. Across their markets with I think in that particular session, I have actually clicked on Yakult only. You can look at it here. With a single creative, direction. Yakult needed to act quickly, validate their creative ideas with consumers, and execute the confidence on a much larger scale. So what did they do? Considering the brand's need, it was critical for Yakult to find an ad testing solution. They wanted to test their ad with a standardized approach and a robust multi-country insight. So what did they do? Again, with access to consumer norms across multiple European markets, Link Now and Link Express with neuroscience on Kantar Marketplace was a natural solution for measuring creative effectiveness. So they, will advertise the ad. Kantar will bring maybe consumer panels. Will call people to watch a movie, and then in between they will put ads, and then they will actually. What do? They actually simulate a real environment. That is what these market research companies have. Whether you want to test your product ideas, whether you want to test your ads, you can do all these in such marketplaces. So I think in one of the last classes, I talked to you about Paco Underhill, right? He does the retail research. He also has these kind of, real supermarkets, which is actually a test and experiment place, but it will give you which will actually give you the feel of a real supermarket. So there are many value chain partners today with whom you can test your ideas. You can test your ad copy, ad creative. You can do all these things. So you can go to this particular, site. This company used to be in India. We had IMRB, right? Now this is actually Kantar IMRB. That is what we have. So Kantar is the international company. So you can actually go to the different industries and you can check on your own. Say, let us look at in finance, what is the kind of work these people do. So they don't give you a lot of details because they will not give you how did they do it. But you can at least know what kind of work happens. So creating a better customer experience for a top bank. Right? Can you see this? So, my contribution is I'm introducing and making you familiarize with these kind of websites where you can really, go and understand how, and what people do. So once they did that, increase in direct sales by 300%, increase in overall return on investment, 55%. So you can actually look at, this. So now I'm going back to my slide. So, what I suggest is you look at these kind of sites on your own. Maybe in the next class, I will introduce you to another very good international site where you can actually see, how real market research is done. So now, I gave you some idea about how product testing is done and how concept is getting tested for number 7, that particular cosmetic brand. How is it done at Kantar's marketplace? Also, we tested. Another, another important concept is test marketing. So in India, there are certain cities which are very famous for test marketing. One is definitely, your 4 metros because they have cosmopolitan population. Another one is, places like Coimbatore, Indore. These are places where in which generally companies go for test marketing. In Tamil Nadu, Salem, right? So these are all places where very rich people are also there, middle class is also there, lower middle class is also there, right? And you will see the adoption patterns also really well. So if you talk to people in FMCG, industries, if you ask them, which are your favorite towns where which you do, test marketing, they will give you the names of these kind of cities. Right? Indore mein to bahut hota hai. Coimbatore is a very, common place. Of course, your 4 metros, because they are cosmopolitan, they are also, used. Now, what is test marketing? So now, you know what test marketing is. Before you really launch, a product, or before you launch a kind of an advertisement, you want to give air an advertisement, or you want to give a discount, right? You want to do these kind of things. You can always test that on a small sample. That is test marketing. So in this particular case, because it is new product development, think that we are going to launch we have identified the prototypes, and some prototypes have been, past the, business scalability also. Now we will go and test, whether this the product, what will be the way this product is going to be adopted, what will be the response of the end customer, and what will also be the response of the retailer and the distributor. So you can use test marketing. After a product is developed and tested, the next stage is test marketing. So which is a process of determining whether the product could be accepted in the market or not. So a sample product is introduced in the market to determine its possible success and effectiveness of a marketing campaign before producing the product at a large scale. So in this way, test marketing helps in reducing the risk of product failure. Test marketing is done in a controlled and a limited manner. If the results of the tests are favorable, the organization goes ahead with the strategic decisions. Otherwise, another course of action is taken. Now let us look at, a little more on test marketing. So what is management control? So you actually control the experiment, right? Test marketing is nothing but an experiment actually. You are actually putting your product out there and seeing the response. So how do you do that? Test marketing is a management control tool which is used to assess the response of the product when it is introduced in the market. So this saves the cost and efforts in case the product fails to make an impact in the market. And it's also a predictive research tool. Test marketing acts as a predictive research tool as it helps in anticipating the future demand of the product. How fast it gets adopted also will give you an idea about how much it is going to sell. And then you have the, standard test marketing, you have the control test marketing. What is standard test marketing? Under this, a small number of representative cities are chosen by an organization. So I gave you some examples of Indian cities where test marketing could be performed. After the selection of the cities, marketing campaigns are run and consumer and distributor surveys are performed in these cities to measure the performance of the product. So, what do? They will launch the brand. Before that, they will do a marketing campaign there. They will also do, local campaign. They will also might do campaigns in supermarkets. They'll do all that, right? They may not go all India. But whatever that is going to be done pan India, significant amount will be spent on that particular city. And then see, how consumers respond to that particular product. Then the next one is controlled test marketing. In this technique, test marketing is carried out in a controlled environment, wherein shopkeepers are asked to store a product in exchange of a certain amount of fee. So, so in supermarket, certain storekeepers will be asked to keep the product. So for this, you don't need a particular city. You can do this all over India also, right? And try and see, how what is the adoption rate. After that, the customer buying behavior is observed. This shows the product success with respect to competitors' products. So, you have, put your new product there. Competitors' products are, next to you, say shampoo. Your product is going to sit with all the other competitors' shampoos, and you have a very attractive package. Do people come pick it up? Do they like it? Say maybe you have some Kareena Kapoor on the, on the packaging. People might definitely think that, this is really a good brand. Or if you're using an existing brand name, right? Say Dove. Dove comes with something of a new product, but the name Dove will carry some weight, for the brand. So, so these are the advantages of being a very strong brand. So you can do this kind of types of test marketing. Another one is simulated test marketing. So, the ones which we looked at is standard test marketing, controlled test marketing, and now is simulation. A real life, kind of an life situation or environment will be created. A shopping environment is created to test a new product. It helps in observing customers' buying behavior. This is what I think Kantar and, Paco Underhill's company, they all do. Here the advantage is, you may have cameras to, test them. You may have all the technology to see, how people respond. Have I told you about this concept called haptic touch? Haptic touch is a retail concept wherein which a customer comes, picks up a brand and keeps it in his hand, fiddles with it, look at the price, looking at it. And, so haptic touch is how the customer touches and feels the product. And generally the hypothesis is that the more they keep it in their hand, the higher is the chance for them to put it in the trolley or buy the particular product. Okay. So all these things can be tested in a simulated environment because you have kept the simulated place only to test. And measuring the effectiveness of advertising messages and evaluating efficiency. So measuring the effectiveness of advertising message is just checked for Yakult, right? Kantar does that. And evaluating the efficiency of promotional activities of the organization. All these can be done in a simulated environment. Then you have what is called a sales wave research. So in this method, first an organization offers its product free. You will be given a free trial. And so that the prospective buyer can use the product. So trial is enhanced. Once the trial is done, then actually the organization offers its product at reduced prices and analyze if its product is purchased against the competitor's product or not. Just to see, so in order to remove the hurdle that I have not heard about this product, so I don't want to use it. So give them a free sample and encourage them to use it. And then, give them the same product at a lower price, right? So just to see whether they switch from their competitor. And then, you go ahead and launch it. So, so these are, different types of test marketing. Then you have something called as alpha and beta test marketing. What is alpha test marketing? This is the type of test marketing which is carried out within the organization premises and with the help of test engineers, employees, and their families. So they test that product within their company. That is what alpha. Beta test marketing is like your beta software. How beta versions are given to users and for feedback. So this is another technique which is deployed in the test marketing of the product. Unlike alpha, respondents of the beta marketing include external individuals. So you have alpha, your employees also will be there, but you will also take, feedback from other individuals, external individuals. So that is test marketing. And then, guidelines for designing market testing. So you can become a specialist in test marketing. You can specialize in these roles. So these are all very boutique kind of roles. There are people who are experts in all. So for ensuring a high success rate, a market test should be designed by keeping in mind the following guidelines. A test market must be selected in a way that it represents the whole market, right? So if this is not taken into consideration, the whole test marketing process would be futile. So you should have a representative sample whenever you try to do a test market. A test market must be such that it is functional for a sufficient amount of time, preferably for at least a year. Okay. I don't know whether that is always possible. Yeah. So a test market must be controlled in an ineffective and inefficient manner. The variables under study are not controlled. The results obtained from the process will not commensurate with the objective of the test market, right? So, when you are putting it in a supermarket, give it a little bit of a kind of a push because of the new brand, right? So you need to place it in such a way, display should be good, do all that. And the test must be designed in such a manner that one variable can be studied at a time. So, so that is the summary of the new product development. New product development is a systematic process of managing all processes involved in getting new product in the market. So market research firms can, start from the time of your concept development, your product development in test marketing. So it's a very big market for market research firms. After a product is developed and tested, the next stage is test marketing. A test market must be selected in a way that it represents the whole market. A test must be designed in such a manner that one variable can be studied at a time. Testing several variables may provide obscure solutions. So first you only look at adoption, sales, right? You can see whether people are actually buying the brand or are they taking it in their hands, right? So you can do one single adoption can be the only variable when you do the test marketing. So now we have the next chapter, that's advertising research. So in this chapter, before I go to the chapter, I'll give you a 5 minutes break. It's 5 minutes to 7, and at 8 o'clock you come. Then we will discuss the concept first and the advertisement. And I have to show you some ads, and I hope I will be able to show you the ads through Zoom. Okay, take a 5 minutes break. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If I know the answer, I'll take. No questions. Is it getting recorded? Is it getting recorded, this video? Okay, take a 5 minutes break. It's 8 now, come at 8:05.